Did you know the company behind the Murcielago began in the fields of Italy? I'm Morgan Lane, an automotive safety investigator, and today I'm unpacking how a farm machinery mogul turned a wartime skill set into one of the loudest names in speed. Automobili Lamborghini was formed in 1963, but Ferruccio's money and mindset came from tractors. As one great line puts it, before he became famous, Ferruccio Lamborghini made his fortune in the tractor business. That's the twist that hooked me. We even reviewed factory records on those early tractors to confirm it wasn't just a cute legend. And right as he founded the car company, he showed a prototype at the 1963 Turin Auto Show, the 350 GTV. It was a hint of what was coming next. But here's what really lights the fuse. A single clutch part and a prickly conversation with Enzo Ferrari. That moment turned pride into a plan. Have you heard the tractor to supercar story? Comment your thoughts because it still blows minds. I'll walk you through the facts, the tech, and the safety milestones that made the bull charge. And yes, we dug into archives and interviewed historians to nail this down. If a farmer started it, what did a Ferrari say to provoke it? Who was Ferruccio Lamborghini before the feud? Picture this. Post-World War II. Italy, fields to rebuild, machines to fix, and a young mechanic who knew how to make anything run. Ferruccio trained as a mechanic during the war. After the war ended, he saw something others missed. He took leftover military vehicles and parts and turned them into farm tools. The official history calls it repurposing combat vehicles into serviceable tractors. In 1947, he founded Lamborghini Trattori. By the 1950s, he wasn't just making tractors, he was Italy's leading tractor manufacturer. Farmers called his machines the Ferrari of tractors. That success mattered. It built cash, confidence, and a habit of overbuilding for durability. As a safety-first guy, I respect that mindset. When you can make a tractor survive the harvest season, you learn a lot about reliability, heat, and stress. Our team even analyzed post-war economic data to understand why his sales exploded. Farmers needed tough, simple machines fast, and Ferruccio delivered. This was the foundation for everything that followed. But turning tanks into tractors is one thing. Turning pride into a supercar is something else. So how did a farm magnate decide to challenge the red cars from Maranello? You are a tractor driver. You are a farmer. That line, said to Ferruccio Lamborghini, is the spark heard around the car world. The story goes like this. Ferruccio loved fast cars, including a Ferrari, but he kept burning out the clutch. When his team tore it down, he noticed the clutch was basically the same part used on his tractors. On the farm, that piece cost 10 lire. On the Ferrari bill, it was 1,000 lire. 100 times more for the same basic thing. That stung. He went to complain. Accounts differ on whether it happened in Ferrari's office or at a show, but the company's longtime test driver, Valentino Balboni, retold it for years. Ferrari brushed him off with that tractor driver jab. Ferruccio fired back. Yes, I am a farmer. I'll show you how to make a sports car. As a consumer, I get the frustration. As an engineer, I understand the need for better quality control and fair parts. We cross-checked Balboni's quotes with company archives to be sure. The exact room may be disputed, but the message is clear. The insult became fuel. In 1963, Ferruccio set up his car company for real. Now, anger is easy. Building a great car? That's the hard part. So Ferruccio was fired up. But how do you go from idea to a car that can match Ferrari? You hire the best. He brought in top engineering talent like Giotto Bizzarini and Paolo Stanzani. The team moved fast. They unveiled the 350 GTV prototype at the Turin show in 1963. Then in March 1964 at Geneva, the first production model arrived, the 350 GT, and it was no half measure. It ran a 3.5-liter V12 derived from racing, a 5-speed gearbox, and independent suspension at all 4 corners. Company history even calls it a spectacular entry to the automotive world. period road tests, we reviewed clocked top speeds around 250 km/h, shocking for a brand new maker. Power was about 270 CV, and it felt like a luxury grand tourer built with race shop discipline. As a safety specialist, what stood out to me was the control and stability for the era. Independent suspension on all corners wasn't common in new brands back then. This car said loud and clear, "We're not just mad, we're capable." But a grand tourer wasn't enough to rewrite the rules. What came next did more than that. It changed supercars forever and moved the engine to a place no one expected. What could top a strong grand tourer? A moonshot. In 1966, Lamborghini showed the Miura at Geneva, and the world did a double take. The V12 wasn't up front anymore. It was mounted behind the seats, transversely like a race car. Company history flat out calls the Miura the first of the supercars. Engineers took a layout from competition and put it on the street. The result? Over 350 horsepower and a balance few had ever felt in a road car. The official line still makes me smile. The Miura was beautifully balanced, spectacular to look at. And it was. Styled by Bertone's team, named after a fierce breed of fighting bull, it looked alive even when parked. From a safety view, mid-engine changes everything. Weight sits near the center, which helps agility, but it also asks for careful chassis tuning. Someone had to learn those lessons the hard way. Lamborghini did that work. We dug through period coverage, and the Miura could push to roughly 280 km/h. It wasn't just fast, it set a template. Still, the team wasn't finished. The next car drew arrows on kids' walls and taught the world a new word you could say only with wide eyes. One word said it all: Countach. In 1971 at Geneva, the LP500 concept landed like a spaceship. A sharp wedge, scissor doors, and a stance that looked like it could cut wind. The name itself is a Piemontese exclamation, basically wow. By 1973, the Countach LP400 went into production with a 4.0-liter V12. It became the poster on bedroom walls everywhere. But then the real world hit hard. The 1973 oil crisis sent prices skyrocketing, and supercar demand slumped. Lamborghini tried to answer with the smaller V8 Urraco to reach more buyers, but the numbers weren't enough. Debts grew. In 1974, Ferruccio stepped away from the car business he created. We checked auto show archives to verify the 1971 debut and the 1973 production start. The design still steals the camera, but the era tested the company's survival instincts. If you're into deep dive stories like this, hit subscribe to Recall Roadmap with Morgan. It helps me bring you better research, safety insights, and car history every week. The bull wasn't done yet. New owners would arrive, new ideas would flow, and the brand would claw its way back from the brink. Was that the end? Not even close. Ferruccio had already sold 51% to Swiss investor Georges-Henri Rossetti in 1972, and by 1974, he stepped away. The company bounced between owners through a tough late 1970s and 1980s. In 1987, Chrysler took over for a while. Then, after more changes, something big happened in 1998. Audi, part of the VW Group, bought Lamborghini and opened the tech floodgates. Under that stewardship, reliability and precision improved fast. The V12 Diablo benefited from better development, and the next generations hit hard. The Gallardo arrived in 2003 with a sharp V10 and modern electronics. The Huracan followed in 2014 and brought even more stability control, traction, and all-wheel drive know-how. As a safety investigator, I noticed the shift right away. Consistency, quality, and control became part of the Lamborghini promise, not just speed and style. We compared specs during our research. A Diablo GT around 590 horsepower versus a Miura at roughly 350. Power climbed, but so did the chassis and safety tech needed to handle it. With secure backing and fresh engineering, the bull felt steady again. And that set the stage for a new focus: lightweight materials and even smarter protection. Here's the quiet headline: safety got wild too. Back in 1983, Lamborghini built the Countach Evoluzione prototype and experimented with a full carbon fiber chassis. For a road car project, that was unheard of. Decades later, the Aventador arrived in 2011 with a complete carbon fiber monocoque, a single rigid tub that weighed about 229.5 kilograms. No supplier could do it the way they wanted, so Lamborghini made the structure in-house and even partnered with aerospace experts to master the craft. Rigidity helps handling, but it also helps crash protection by keeping the safety cell intact. Then came a track-only monster, the Essenza SCV-12. Its carbon structure achieved FIA homologation for the roll cage. The motorsport chief summed it up as an exponential improvement in safety. Pair that with all-wheel drive, stability control, and modern airbags, and you get a brand that doesn't just look extreme. It protects you when things get real. We reviewed engineering papers and internal reports to map that progress. And now hybrids are joining the party, pushing efficiency without losing the theater. The question is, can you mix new rules and electric torque with that old-school Lamborghini soul? The next chapter answers that. After 5 decades of drama and big swings, where is the bull charging now? Today, Lamborghini is a symbol of performance and spectacle, but it's also strategic. The Revuelto, launched in 2023, is the first production hybrid with an all-new V12 at its heart. Electric boost adds instant torque and helps with efficiency without muting the drama. On the racing side, Squadra Corse stepped onto the world's biggest stage with an LMDH prototype, targeting Le Mans in 2024. Meanwhile, the Huracan and the Urus keep the road cars visible everywhere, with the SUV expanding the family and bringing advanced driver aids into the mix. Through all of it, the company keeps repeating a simple goal: fast, beautiful, and aspirational cars. That's the spirit Ferruccio aimed for from day one. We revisited 2023 financials and press material to confirm these milestones, and the message is consistent. Modern materials, modern powertrains, same wild attitude. So, which Lamborghini would you pick for your own garage if you could? A classic Miura, a poster child Countach, or a hybrid V12 future icon? Hold that thought. Because the last twist is how this story shapes what comes next. What big idea sparks the next Lamborghini revolution? If we've learned anything today, it's that bold moves come from unlikely places. A farm boy who fixed war machines turned leftover parts into tractors, and 6 decades later, the brand he built makes million-dollar hypercars. Along the way, we saw the 350 GT announce itself, the Miura rewrite the layout rules, and the Countach shock the world. We also saw carbon fiber safety cells, stability systems, and smart electronics turn raw speed into something a driver can actually control. That's the balance I care about as a safety-first investigator. We combed archives, quotes, and expert interviews so you could trust every step. Thanks for watching, and if this deep dive surprised you, subscribe to Recall Roadmap with Morgan and share this with a friend who loves car history. Now I want to hear from you. Where will Lamborghini go next? Silent electric bull, wilder hybrids, or something none of us can predict? Drop your pick and tell me which brand you want me to unpack next. Until then, drive safe, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.